Yo, yo, my sovereigns, what up? This is Boba Fett, uncensored on the internet, with episode 193 of Splinterlands 101. Join us once again, finest gentleman who ever lived, chairman of the Dow, issuer of the bounties, etc., Matt Clark.
Howdy, howdy.
What's new?
I'm rummaging and I found my old Steam Monsters t-shirt, so I thought I'll rep that. It's been a while, been a couple of years since I wore it on the show.
Yeah, it's still, that glossy sort of brand new look. It hasn't started crinkling and disintegrating yet. Looking good.
Well, I try to not wear it too much. It's just special
Yeah.
occasions.
Yeah. And special
Like whenever I
occasion
want to-
being tonight, we have
Exactly.
B Jangles on the show from the People's Guild. Welcome, B Jangles.
It's been a while, gentlemen. I'm honored, especially honored that you have deemed it such a special occasion to dust off the Steam Monsters threads, dude. That's a red shirt. We were just talking about it off air.
Yeah, cheers.
Thanks
Also
for having
off
me,
air.
guys.
Also off air, Bob, you were just telling us about your travel plans.
Yeah, I'm going to head to Cusco in October. And I just love the Andes Mountains, the surrounding areas, Sacsayhuaman, Ollantaytambo, Pisac, Aguas Caliente, just all the way around there, catch up with some friends that I know there. And then on the way back to Mexico, you're going to stop in Guatemala. Those who've been around the blockchain for quite a while would know Buttcoins. Buttcoins has a 28-room resort on a lake in Guatemala that is surrounded by 5 active volcanoes. It's previously called Hostel del Lago Atitlan, but they've just undergone a massive project. Starkers went there to help. Starkers from Three Speak. Alex Eco Instant went there. There was a big thing, and the place is now known as Hive Hub. And as a guest there, you can pay for your room, for like anything that you need while you're there. You can pay with HBD just with tapping your phone. Or as you know, I've got the EFT cards here as well that I can program with the app on my mobile phone so that people can actually put their HBD onto the Hive debit card. And then you can just tap with your debit card. Yeah.
That's so cool, man.
Yeah.
5 active volcanoes
What a rad
around
project.
the lake. Yeah, that's such a cool place to be. Look, post while you're there, right? Take lots of photos and post, because I'd love to see that.
For sure.
And I know there's a lot of guys who are looking forward to, next bull run. Hey, I'm going to move some stuff into HBD. I'm just going to enjoy those fat stacks of interest when I think we've peaked. I think we're at the top. I'm going to, move some substantial cash across into that, and then, it's to really start building up an HBD balance. I've spoken to a few people who are in that in that mindset. So, the idea that you can, as long as you got your plane tickets, right, to Guatemala sorted, you just arrive and everything you need to pay for is just HBD. I could see that being a really, really appealing option for a lot of people.
Yeah.
That's cool.
For sure.
It's very cool.
I wonder, is Hive working on, and I really enjoyed, to kind of follow up on MC's comments there. I really enjoyed the kind of documentary style stuff that you were dropping around. I'm blanking on the name, but it was the Web3 convention. Starkers came over. Eco Instant was there. There was a whole crew of you guys. It was in Guatemala or Guadalajara, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that was Talentland. It's an annual event here. Yeah. Jose Pimpo was there. We all got to meet Jose as well. And he's now posting content on the Hive blockchain as well. So,
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was super cool to watch and definitely informative. I would love to see, it kind of spawned more questions than I knew I had possible for where is Hive going and what's the future of the blockchain. Are there any thoughts to release something like a Hive debit card, like a physical debit card that does something on the back end that would allow for whatever local currency is
Yep,
You know,
there's
I feel
the
like there's some really cool opportunity there to even further embed Hive in these places.
yeah. There is an app called VSC, that was actually was kind of like launching that at Talentland as well. Starkers has got his hand in that as well. I think one of the main devs, originally, also actually one of the main devs from DTube originally. Now he's working on this project, Voltec, and it's pretty much you can spend anything on this net without fees, even Bitcoin. Like you put like however much satoshis you want to spend on something. The biggest holdback in the past with Bitcoin has been the high charges for it. But on the VSC network, you can literally spend Bitcoin with no fees, with lots of other options as well. Also, Hive Kuba have an app. Off the top of my head, I can't remember the name of that. Manu Photos on the Hive blockchain, if you want to check that out, learn a bit more about it. It's a system used for Latin America, because in Cuba, for example, you can't use credit cards. And if you are traveling and you have your Cuban credit card, it's useless. It's just not accepted. So they were obviously looking, and necessity being the mother of invention, there's a lot of stuff like that coming out in this part of the world. Yeah, but yeah, pretty amazing. I mean, with the whole Hive thing, we were onboarding businesses here in Guadalajara to accept Hive, and when you go, you can either just simply use the Hive keychain extension on your mobile phone as an app to tap and pay, or there's the EFT cards. Like I've still got a box of them here actually. For Eddie left a box with me. Eddie Spino left some stuff here for like anyone else that comes to Guadalajara and needs stuff. There's a place you can go to get it, which is me. So these cards literally just tap the back of your mobile phone to transfer the HBD across. It's so easy to use. And whether you're using the card or whether you're using the phone, when you make purchases at these places, you get a 20% cashback on your purchases. There's an app called Distriator. You go and you share a comment, just like leaving a review for somewhere. Just take a photo, leave a quick review about the place. If it was somewhere you stayed, about the place, or if it was a restaurant, maybe the meal. But just like by leaving a review and you submit that, you get paid for that as well. And there's also some heavy hitters like bot that they've set up that will actually upvote everyone's vote when you actually do a review on a place that accepts HBD. So yeah, there's a lot happening in this part of the world with the whole Hive blockchain thing.
And they're making it hard not to jump on board, huh? It's awesome.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, the more they break money, the more they push us to alternatives, right? Like, it's the abuse of the privilege of printing money that's led to open the door, not just a crack, but basically kicked it open in some places, like Nigeria, like Sucre in Venezuela, lots of different places getting this the benefit of now a stable currency, and it's available anywhere that there's the internet. 3 second transaction time, no transaction fees. Like I said, sometimes 20% rebate as well on a spend. And if you don't spend it, it just sits there accumulating 15% APR. Well, what's not to love about that compared to the currency that's just eroding in value constantly? So, we win. We build better tools and we win, and I think this is what winning looks like. The world at the moment is what it looks like when the people who abuse their privileges see what's coming and try to thrash around and grab whatever they can that's not bolted to the floor while they still have an opportunity. But we win in the end. I'm very, very positive about the future.
And just a lot of people, they accept that government issued shitcoin all over the world because they're just simply not aware of an alternative. So just when something starts making some ripples, starts making a bit of noise, starts getting people's attention. Saw a great meme the other day, and it was like the first picture, and it's got like it was Bitcoin sort of type thing with the US dollar, and it shows Bitcoin like going back to 2012 or whatever. And it's now Bitcoin's doing this, and then it shows you the second one, and Bitcoin is just flatlined across the top, and it's the US dollar is actually doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
So Bitcoin hasn't
100%.
gone up at all. It's just your money has lost like 30% value.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all
Yeah.
relative, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is that the? Oh, go ahead, MC.
Someone said, I saw someone did the figures that if you bought every new iPhone at launch on the date of launch for a retail price, here's how much Bitcoin you'd have if you bought Bitcoin instead over the last 10 years. And that was pretty sobering. It was like in the hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah.
If you'd have just, instead of buying the iPhone 6, you'd have just moved that amount of money at that day on launch day. If you'd have just moved that into Bitcoin, here's how much money you'd have. It was an obscene amount of money. So I guess we learn these lessons in hindsight if we're not smart enough to have the foresight. So
Yeah.
But yeah, just changing topics slightly. We've just had the town hall. Did you catch that at all?
I haven't yet. No, I did see the notice. It was Dave put up there. It was happening soon, but it just didn't fit with my time zone.
Yeah, I missed the first 15 minutes or so. I was doing the school run because morning here in Australia in Adelaide. But yeah, really interesting. Did you catch it, Beach Angles?
I caught the first hour, and then I had to dip off to clear some stuff out of the schedule to make sure I was here. So I think I caught the meat and potatoes. I did catch some exciting stuff. I did want to ask if there was anything in the we're getting. I don't remember how much detail was actually dropped, but something along the lines of regular foil remaining soulbound for reward cards, gold and black foil are being completely unsoulbound. With this upcoming CA reward card set, that definitely perks my ears up. I think we've seen a lot of success with folks re-engaging in a really big way with frontier mode, and this was a very obvious, kind of next question from the community is, okay, well, we're seeing success here. When does that translate over to the rank side of things? So I wonder if are we going to see the journey to 60K? I mean, we're seeing all these developments that are geared to bringing players back in. MC, I don't know how much longer you're going to be able to sit on your
look
50,000.
I maxed out in Frontier League, so I kept playing, and I was in Gold 1, getting the packs, getting the rewards, and I'm like, yeah, actually, this is pretty cool. I could keep doing this. The main problem that's been the main reason I'm really, intending to leave Wild behind is that these are cards that could be working on my land plots, right? There's all these cards I'm not generally using because there's so many cards I very rarely ever pick, and so I really want to move them onto land to optimize there. But so Frontier is good. I can scratch that itch without necessarily losing out on. Like my pickle's just sitting on black foil pickle number 101. Which was a really lucky pull. But he's just sitting in my playing account in case I need to play with him, and that massive PP could be on land, right? On a legendary plot, pulling in quite a bit more than what it is. So that it's just the opportunity cost. Whereas the Frontier cards, it's like, hey, look, I could just play with these cards, and it's low stakes. I do agree with what you're saying, though. I think soul binding the cards was necessary while bots were around. I think for years we had this bot ambivalent, bot agnostic approach. And we tried to make that work, and I always backed Jabba with that and just said, look, if he's, if we want to be like that and we need to be open source and open, unrestricted, then we have to. But it seems like that was keeping players away, right? That really feels like that was keeping players away, and the things that we did to try to limit the impact of bots was also keeping players away, right? Things like soulbound rewards cards. So if we're moving away from that and more saying, all right, we are now banning bots. We're banning them. You've on them, wild and survival, but we're just going to get rid of them entirely. Then we can say, well, if it's human players, then it doesn't matter that we're giving away rewards cards that are saleable, transferable. That's good now, right? So we're getting back to what made the game appealing But it's just we got to wake up from that allowing bots hangover, I guess.
Yeah, I think that
big
whole
change.
journey just sort of created a disengagement period across the board. Was back when you had your daily 5 quests, where whatever splinter it was, whatever the thing, you had to every day you had a new 5 quests to achieve, and you got something to unlock, and it was exciting to do that. And then when the whole system changed, to the point now it's just like, it's end of season, log in, spend my glint. And I've maxed my epic. Last season I've maxed all of my epics, so I've just got a couple of legendaries to max now, but mostly commons and rares, because I just haven't been, all of my chests have been geared epic and above, so I need to start collecting some commons and epics. But I know for a lot of people, they maxed out their reward cards a long time ago. So there's no excitement to commit to a daily engagement with the game. You're playing in Wild, put the bot on, it runs once a day. Whereas in the past, it was really exciting to engage with those quests and so
and
forth.
while the bots are there, there's an opportunity cost to not engaging with them, and that's the problem. We're talking to my guild in the Roaring Twenties chat earlier in Tavern. And a lot of guys are saying, "Hey, how do people have all these maxed out gladiator cards?" I've been at it. I've been battling. We've been brawling. We've got a fairly high level guild. We don't have a lot of. We will input into a lot of brawls with phrase empty, just because it's been around so long. There's some guys that aren't really engaging. I might need to do some sort of a clear out, but we're getting merits. What's going on here? Why do so many other people have gladiators maxed? And it's like, watching guys who've got the bot on there, spending their glint and buying the chests, and then there's glint, massive amounts of merits in there. Of course, like they're maxing the gladiators. So now, you look at somebody like me who's done 50,000 wild ranked battles and is sort of at around 75-80% on most of my gladiators, coming up against max gladiators, because people did the I guess what was the smart move and played optimized bots over the last few years. So yeah, look, I get how that could leave a certain bitterness to the experience. So the fact that all the attention is shifting now to where it's human only, I only see that being a good future for the game.
Yeah. What's your thoughts there, BJ?
Yeah, I think I am super excited for, I think it was last town hall, the town hall for August, where it was kind of publicly announced that they were working on bringing back themes to seasons. So not necessarily, I think they were very deliberate in not using the word quest system, but it was something like a low percentage chance that you would get a battle themed around whatever that this current season is. So it was something like, in a special arena that you're battling in, there's a particular set of rules that automatically apply and boost maybe your goblins or your orcs, or whatever the bloodline is. That sort of stuff, I think, goes a really long way to keeping things feeling fresh. Because you're absolutely right, Bob. I feel like losing the questing system was just one more reason to kind of disengage and just turn the bot on, and I collect my glint, I buy my cards, and push play on the bot again, and I'll check back in a couple of weeks, sort of thing. So I think we really need to move back towards a place where there's legitimate fun reasons to get logged in every day and engage with the game. And we talked about Nate presented a couple of skins that are going to be available for cards. Super scarce. I think Dave said limited to 100 on some of the variant skins that were presented, which it's not something for everybody, but it's definitely something for a certain niche set of players. I will definitely be trying to get after that stuff. So that's yet another reason to log in and participate and engage every day. We're making strides in the right direction. So I'm super excited. I can't believe it's already the final 10-day stretch of September, and then we're into Q4. It's just boggles my mind. But when you're looking back at the last 6 months, man, the number of tick boxes that we have put a giant green check mark in terms of progressing this thing forward and making it more accessible and lowering that big speed bump of entry for the average player that just wants to come dabble and check things out. And yeah, we're making tremendous strides towards the all accessible, like perfect Web3 game. I realize that all three of us here are probably viewing things with a significant bias, but I've played around with some other games, and nothing has the same appeal that Splinterlands does for me. And I think that there is a massive allure towards the Magic the Gathering guys, the Pokemon guys, the traditional TCG players, and I think Frontier tees us up in a way that we've never had available. And I think all these additional fun factor, like shiny stuff on top, superficial stuff, i.e. the skins, the themed seasons, and there's a laundry list of stuff that I think ultimately is going to just make a very compelling reason for folks to come on board and check us out. So yeah, I'm stoked, man. It's Q4 is looking good.
And SPS has been holding its price as well. I know because I've been checking every day. I've been waiting for the last couple of weeks to buy the dip, but there hasn't been one. A couple of days ago, it did actually go down to 79, but it didn't even stay there a day. So yeah, I've been watching that, checking in. And it's been holding. So I thought maybe 70. If it goes back to 74, I might buy some SPSM. But yeah, just sitting on the side watching it at the moment, and it's holding. It's holding well. Yeah.
There's a lot
of.
You
guys think we're going to get a dip before the mini set comes? I feel like that was a major. I don't know if it was the only reason, but it was definitely a primary contributing factor to SPS, getting that nice little lift. And, granted, we are still a few months away, but yeah, I don't know.
I think there are a lot of people like Bob who are looking for that cheap buying opportunity, so they're not going to let it drop substantially more than what it is, right? Maybe that 0.8 or 0.0008 is our support, right? Where, like you said, Bob, it dropped down briefly, but it wasn't even there for a day. So there's people buying up. They're just trying to buy the floor, so that they can get that the cheaper packs from the mini set when they roll out in December.
Yeah.
That's but I mean everyone's got their ideas. I think seeing where we go with the different options for rewards, for SPS rewards, the different pools are running out. How do we do that? The exponential decay. There's been some models suggested and the like, so different proposals going up to vote. I think if we were to say, we're just gonna match year one SPS emissions indefinitely, then obviously that would tank the price because there's just too much flooding in. But if we're really tight with that and we say, hey, look, there's not going to be, get some FOMO going on there, that might jack up the price. But it also closes the door to new entrants because we need to get however many more people in here, otherwise it becomes a very centralized token.
Yeah.
So it's a difficult balancing act, but I think we're getting it right in the futures. I think the price is really going to respond to having some at least midterm transparency and certainty around the emission rates, because nobody wants to buy a token that's going to be printed into oblivion. And yeah, I would keep my eye on. I could almost see like as various different proposals that, as that green bar pushes across to the right on the proposal, then it's almost like that's gonna. I would expect that's going to be reflected in the price.
The majority of people on this planet are working 40 hours a week for a shit coin that's exponentially printed.
Yep.
Was that the? I meant to ask you when we were talking about your buddy Butt Coins. Is that the origin story? Is he just taking a piss on the rest
pretty
of the
much?
fiat?
Yeah. I mean, like I said, the guy's been around since pretty much the beginning of Steam. So yeah, entered the blockchain with that name, and it's stuck with it. Like, the people that come onto the blockchain with, J4QW6, and for whatever reason they find their niche and they do really well. For the rest of their life, they're cursing that that's the name that they picked on the blockchain. But yeah, some people did really well. I'm very happy with Boba Fett. I haven't got something, 1974 or tacked on the end. Yeah.
Yeah, well, Bojangles is pretty cool too. I always think, Mr. Bojangles. It's got sort of a voodoo Haitian sort of a vibe to it. What's the background on that? Have we? I don't think we've talked about that before, have we?
So my original, I actually have two accounts. My original account I set up as I had gotten the nickname Banjo. I was working for a startup in Colorado, and some coworkers. We had a couple of Bens in the office, and we quickly needed to differentiate. So I inherited the nickname Banjo. So when I went to create another account, I was trying to think of something that sounded similar. Obviously my full first name is Benjamin. So I was looking for something that had the same, BNJ, and the Bob Dylan song, Mr. Bojangles was on. I hadn't connected the Haitian stuff, and it wasn't until way later that I discovered Bojangles is actually a famous chicken shop in the southeast part of the States, which I thought was a pretty funny coincidence. The number of folks that connect first to the chicken shop and later to the Bob Dylan song, it's really funny. Because I had actually never heard of the chicken shop. So yeah, it was just a Bob Dylan song, trying to find something that had the same sound, BNJ.
Yeah,
and even banjo in your part of the world, banjo is like a roll. Like you get a chicken banjo. It's like a bread roll for chicken. I used to live on those in Singapore.
I've never heard of that either.
No,
a banjo. It's like
banjo. Yeah, it's like
an
a bread
Asian
roll.
sandwich.
They have something similar here. It's called a lonche, which is a barotte roll with stuff in the middle. But in Asia, a banjo, like Google something like Singapore chicken banjo or something like that, and you'll hopefully get some results. But a lot of the food courts, night courts, things like that, banjos were like the way to go. Still remember my favourite place in Zimbabwe in Singapore. It was called Moe's Banjos. Just a tent. But yeah, you go there and just basically it was an omelette of chicken in a bread roll. It was delicious.
Yum. Yeah, never heard of that either. I'm Googling it. I'll see it.
Yeah, well, for me, I thought, the anonymity, posting anonymously would be good, but then it's forever, right? So it's not like you can ever pull it down, and I might have a skin full of red wine one night, and I'm anonymous and say some stuff. If your two identities then collide at some point in future, then you're accountable for everything you said while you thought you were anonymous. So I thought I'm going to be much better behaved if I'm posting in my own name from the start. Then I can rest easy, sleep tight, and no, I haven't said anything silly under the false the false umbrella of being anonymous.
Yeah, it's like when you're out and about somewhere with a bunch of your friends, like a bunch of your real friends, and you bump into a work friend. It's like it's just two worlds,
Exactly.
right? It's just like
That's great. So, Bob, have you been dabbling? I don't know if I've heard you mention any experience with it thus far. Have you dabbled at all with Frontier? Is that something that you've taken a dive into?
On the last episode, I shared a screen, made an announcement that finally I'd made it into Bronze 2.
Nice.
I had a wall at 280 and 300, and I'd hit 300 and then I'd lose like 4 or 5 in a row, and it was just that constant battle to get past 300. So the first time, and I was going for my daily quest. It was like 3 out of 5 or something. Won another battle, went back to the lobby, and it's like comes up, unlocked bronze 2. It's like, oh wow, 5 chests. Oh wow. Because I didn't even know what to expect when I finally reached bronze 2. Yeah.
Nice. How are you finding it? I've heard a lot of the OGs saying it's very reminiscent of the early alpha beta days. It's not super complicated abilities. It's limited card pool to draw upon. Is that same thought that you had?
My biggest problem at the moment is even the few rewards that I have had for completing the daily quests and the bronze. I still don't have a level 2 card in Foundation. Everything is still level 1. So, and even at bronze 2, I'm finding it difficult to win a battle.
I'm going to send you a bunch of cards, Bob.
Yeah, I just went to the market and bought. It got a little bit silly. So I'm not maxed out, but I'm very much. Some of the key cards I kept finding myself using, but that's the joy of it, right? Is you battle, and then you say, oh man, this card keeps winning me fights. I need to dig deep on this, and just we're in the summoner of it, the Archon. Obviously, I need to get them up the next level so they can. And you just here's a bit more money, and now I'm gold 1, and you max out there for the time.
Well,
being,
I've been doing that with my Chaos Legion with my main deck. I got my super turned the big 6-0 at the end of the last month, and I've whacked a bit. Just took it. I mean, what's the point of having it in the bank? So just holding some of it as HBD and earning 50. I mean, I've only started sending across because from Aussie dollars I've got to go to CoinSpot, buy Hive, send it from Hive to the blockchain, and I was doing that in steps because of a daily bank limit with the bank. But even now, I'm already like $120 or something in interest in HBD. I mean, I wouldn't get that in the bank for a year, and it's not even a month. It's a couple of weeks, and I already got like $120 interest. But yeah, once you've got Liquid Hive, so I'm on Aqualis or the Elmo, or they've got all these different names because they're buying a setup domain. But I love the instant cashback that you get from them. Shout outs to Crypto Eater. So I've always got like 1,000 Hive gets approximately 250 to 270,000 deck, depending on the day. And so I'm just going through my collection. Oh, yeah, need some of this, need some of that. And all of a sudden, it's like insufficient funds. Oh, go back to BSWAT, another 1,000 Hive into 250,000 deck. Do this, do that. Oh, ran out of money. Go back to Hive. You just don't think, it's not like spending money. The mindset is so totally different. And after doing that several times, I thought, hang on a second. How much have I actually spent here? I mean, buying Epic Totem for the land, the new like the cards, maxing everything, buying additional gold foil legendaries just for land. I started that. It's like 5K US. I've dropped into my account just this month.
Damn, Bobby.
It's well things I've wanted to do for so many years but haven't been able to. So it's like the opportunities are like, okay, these are the things I've wanted to do for so long. I have a maxed Scarred Yama as well.
So, you bought a maxed Llama.
Well, Matt gave me a single BCX out of one game as a comment, and I can't use it, of course. So I put it onto my bronze account, and when I was maxing, like I maxed Liana. I had an alpha and a beta Tyrus Palladium, so I maxed both of those. So I've been maxing some alphas and betas as well. But there was the single, what I needed to add to that card was like triple what I could buy an already maxed one for. So I just bought an already maxed one. I forgot. So I'm actually going to send you that card back, Matt. Thanks.
All right.
Thanks, Bruce. Because it's just sitting on my bronze account. It's
no worries. I'm fine with that.
The value it has to me in battle rewards is zero. So now that I've bought a fully maxed here, I'll flip that back to you in the break.
Thank you kindly. That's
Wow,
now.
dude.
Yes, it
Hey,
is.
now.
is there? So we've heard a whole bunch of, just to kind of piggyback on what we were discussing a little bit earlier, with all the things that have come in over the last 6 months, and all the things that we've kind of heard whispers and rumors of to be released throughout the rest of the year. Is there something that I mentioned to Matt, and I think we talked about it on when Matt stopped by for an episode a couple weeks ago with Jimmy and I. I keep waiting for, what is that moment going to be that draws the guys like Geo, and specifically Geo, back in. And I'm hoping it's something like these rewards. Like, I miss coming up against the Pousse. I miss our challenges. I miss the shit talk. There was a good stretch of time. The 101, you guys had the challenge room, and that place was just hopping. Like, everybody was looking to do challenges, and I think challenges for the most part right now are better than they've ever been. You can, experiment with cards that you don't own, which is new since that time. You can dictate the rule sets and the mana caps, and you can create that Melbourne rule set whenever you want. So the customization and the flexibility is very, very cool and fun. But if there's not interest in the game, it's kind of all for naught. So I keep waiting for what is it going to take to bump somebody like Geo back over the edge, and because he's great for the game, and he's got a good mind for it. He enjoys the strategy. So where is that disconnect, and how do we get somebody like Geo back in? And I've got to think that with all this stuff that's kind of sitting a brewing in the kitchen at the moment at Team Splinterlands, there's got to be something that's going to be hollering specifically at Geo's heartstrings to come back in. So is there something that you in particular are kind of keen for and waiting for?
I think that aspects of the game really it comes down into community, which is great that we have the community and we have so many aspects. And you'll see Geo is quite active on the Discord side of things, and especially when you don't have that in your geographical community, like when in your circle, when it's all people in the Matrix, no one else is into crypto, no one else is into conspiracy or alternative theories, no one else is into, it sort of pulls and tugs at you. I think something like that, it's got to be something rather than a feature of the game. It's got to be something that the community comes up with within the game, saying, okay, because we've got all of these resources. Someone needs to look at those resources, go, what can I as a person do with these resources to create some kind of engagement, whether it's a new room or a new server or a competition, or just, competition doesn't have to be about big prize money. A competition can just simply be about competing. But there needs to be something at a community drive to pull back some of those old players who've just sort of, as I say, when the game doesn't encourage you to engage with the game, I think the community needs to step up at that point.
I'd like to see tournaments. I've always said other projects, either in the Web3 space or in meat space or whatever, sponsoring tournaments in Splinterlands is how we really get big. I've used the NASCAR example before. How would that go without advertisers, right? If it was just the internal ticket sales and prizes for coming, for placing on the podium, how would that go? The entire thing is outside advertising, coming in, chasing those eyeballs that are watching the screen, right? That are watching the race. And for me, the fact that anyone can establish a Hive account, throw whatever prizes they like into a tournament on whatever terms they like, and then get exposure to a lot of people who are going to pay attention, and so they scroll through the tournaments and look at all the different options and say, wow, there's a tournament here with a $5,000 prize. I'm going to go in that, and I'm going to pay attention to that. I'm going to see what the winner what cards they choose, and I'm going to pay it. Like that's where say the winning the final of the tournament might be a Twitch streamer, and they're streaming their actual playing the tournament in real time for a big $5,000 prize. That for me is when the game really kicks up a notch, because that player wins a big multi-$1,000 prize, right? And say this happens even once a month, right, for different advertisers or even the same one running a series. That happens, and then we get somebody in like yourself, Bob, who goes, oh, cool, I've got this injection of cash. I'm going to do all these things that I've wanted to do for a long time, right? So maybe he's an excellent player, but he's never branched out into land. Suddenly he's going to win a prize worth $5,000. He goes, wow, there's that keep I've been eyeing off. I really want to diversify. So bam, he doesn't need the cards because obviously he's won the tournament, so he's got the cards. But that is when we start winning, is when outside money comes in and sponsoring tournaments, because that underpins the entire ecosystem in a whole new way. It's fresh, brand new money, and all we need is eyes. All we need is eyeballs, right? So NASCAR, okay, there's 10 million people watching right now, the NASCAR. Okay, well, advertisers are absolutely paying through the nose just for them to glimpse your brand for a fraction of a second as the car races past. And there's you bought one sign on the wall there that says your brand name, and there's zoom, 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 zoom. But it's worth it, right? It's worth throwing some cash at that because there's so many viewers. So what we really need is players arriving en masse, and those players arrive and we keep them because we offer an engaging gameplay experience and ownership of your assets, real ownership, right? So we hit those two marks, fighting against actual real people who exist in the real world. Nobody wants to lose to bots and get all cynical about it. And also, it's stuff that you earn and can't be taken away from you. You now own stuff on the internet. You're not one of those suckers who bought an ape NFT for $100,000 and now it's worth $3, right? You're doing the real NFT use case, which is, here's this thing. I've got this card. I can battle with it. I can rent it out to people. I can put it on land, and it's mine, and nobody can take it from me. And when I beat somebody with it, I'm beating a real human being. We get more and more people in like that. The advertisers chase those eyeballs, throw some cash. And it's so cheap and easy right now to get the attention of 10,000 people? And these are people who are into crypto, spread all around the world. There's some deep pockets out there. If I had an extra project that I was running, I would be sponsoring tournaments in Splinterlands just to get eyeballs on my project. And that's where I think the Crypto Gaming Recovery Fund is going to be really good for that too. Because as we get new people in from that, right, then new crypto projects come along and say, hey, look, I know that you guys are doing the right thing with whatever else. I've got this new other project. I'm gonna throw up a sponsored tournament, and whether you go there or not, whether you investigate or not, whether you read the white paper or not, they're paying just for the views, just for the eyeballs, and that's all new money underpinning our tokenomics. That's what I've been looking forward to for years. We just need to hit that critical mass of players.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't get to the point where you're about to do your battle and the battle screen loads up and it's like Coca-Cola. It's the real thing. As long as it doesn't get to that point. As long as it doesn't get to that point.
Yeah, but I mean, would you
success, right? Like that's
Would you enter
that, actually?
If Coke was sponsoring us, they don't bother with the small fries. But it's just the background of the arena, right? And the naming rights to the tournament. Yeah. So I don't mind entering the Coca-Cola $10,000 tournament. Like, hey, okay, I came fifth and I only won $700. Okay, all right. Woe is me.
Boo-hoo.
And look at all this advertising I've had to see, right? Like this is, but we need the eyeballs, and I think expunging the bots is a big part of that too, because advertisers don't want to advertise when it's just going to be, how many real humans are there versus how many bots. So I think the being bot agnostic again might have been hurting us there, not just driving away players, but also driving away people who are possibly keen to advertise through tournament. That's $2. That is a $2 fee plus the prizes to set up your own tournament. How does that compare to advertising on TV? Right? There's a handful of people still watching Jimmy Kimmel, at least before he got cancelled, right? So there's only a handful of people still watching TV, and your advertisers pay through the nose for that. Seems like low hanging fruit. Yeah, and that's what I'm looking for.
All right,
agreed. I mean, I do think we still have a bit to go in terms of getting our ducks in a row to having the platform set up to, be that red carpet rollout welcome mat for all these oncoming folks. But we're getting close. We've never been closer. And to your point about being bot agnostic for so long, kind of being a bit of a double-edged sword. It did wonders for the market. A lot of people made a lot of money. It attracted a lot of the population that we held for so long. But we've had a very hard look at ourselves in the mirror since then, and now we have we're building things in the right way now. I think we had to go through that when we did in order to be where we are today. And there were moments of, are we going to have to shutter the business, and things are looking pretty dire, and while the player base is dwindling, but we persevered, and here we are 7.5 years later. And I have not been more hopeful for the future of Splinterlands. I don't think ever. This has been 2025 has just been absolute hallmark year for everything that we're trying to accomplish here.
And look, people don't get it. People don't understand the way it all works. For those who aren't aware, Splinterlands could go completely bankrupt, right? That could happen. If that did happen, the DAO would just hire Cryptomancer to keep coding for the game, right? And we'd start paying for server costs, and the game would continue, right? The DAO actually is running everything. The DAO employs Splinterlands to build content, but the DAO could just hire peak monsters to code content for us. So even if Splinterlands did go belly up, which I'm seeing no signs of that being the case, the DAO is actually the one that's actually running the game at this point. So there's a lot of safety there. If you were looking for certainty and safety, and you're thinking, "Oh, do I want to move my cash into this?" Well, there's layers there. There's layers that are protecting from that outcome.
Yeah.
And looking at that layer of, we heard for a really long time about Matt's long-term vision of the DAO having such an integral decision-making power over, the direction of things. And we're seeing, it was very gradual, and then it feels like all of a sudden the DAO is in the driver's seat of a lot of this stuff. And it's what a cool concept, man. Like shout out to Yaba for dropping this gem on Web3. It's the perfect space for it. And the DAO, I think we had a lot of this conversation with Keegs, and then Keegs carried on with you guys, and this conversation of the DAO is one that's particularly fascinating to me, and especially of late. It's such a cool concept of actually we are the proprietors of the game, and we're just hiring Splinter. Like that just blows people's minds.
Yeah.
Like if you don't like something, put a proposal out there, and it's very possible that could become something that comes into fruition and dictates the path forward for the game. It's just such a crazy concept. It's so cool to be a part of it. And it's still early days.
The thing is too, it's actually more natural in a way, right? So you've got a gaming community around a game, for example, some previous game that it's got a thriving community. There's modders, there's people that are just talk about it, Twitch streamers, and then the company goes bankrupt and the game just goes away. Well, the community didn't go away. The community was disbanded by the bankruptcy of the company, but the community still existed. The community didn't go bankrupt. So this is more honest. Having the DAO as the community, and then it not mattering. I mean, obviously, it would be a big blow if Splinterlands was to actually go belly up. But this is more honest in a way. This is more reflective of reality, because it's silly to have a big established community of millions of people who love this game or this project, and then because the company gets their cash flow wrong, or they just or somebody embezzles some money, and that all fizzles out and they go kaput, then that's it. The entire community is just sorry, too bad. Right? They get the servers go down. The game's not playable anymore, and everybody just goes off and does their. Well, the community was still there, so this is more reflective of that reality. Is the community's here? Splinterlands is just who's working for us right now.
And not to mention, the team I would have to imagine a bulk of the team, these guys are so passionate about what they're doing, they would just get reabsorbed right back into the community and still be
Yep.
likely just as instrumental in helping, steer the ship forward. So yeah, it's such a cool blueprint that we're building here.
Yep. Totally agree.
And even as a gaming enthusiast, I mean, how many devs could you name off the top of your head from ArenaNet or Blizzard? They're all invisible. But we all know we know who's doing what in the game as simply as a player by being part of a community in Discord. The amount of insight that we have into what is happening and what's going to happen in the game is unparalleled in anything else in gaming space, in gaming history.
We're honestly so spoiled. And how cool is it? Like, realistically, you can probably within a couple of hours, and Matt, you've called this out a couple of times, just the level of transparency and the degree of intimacy that the relationship between the community and the team. You could drop a message in Discord and more than likely you're going to get a response from CEO, COO, lead developer within a matter of hours. Like, where else are you going to find that level of engagement? These guys got their ear to the ground. They're more than willing to take, till wee hours of the night, hop on calls and hop on episodes with, name your content creator. Where else does that exist? I think you'd be hard pressed and not just gaming, but in any real world company. That's just non-existent customer relationship stuff right there. Is such a cool. Yeah, we're building something special here. It's very, very cool.
Yeah, and for me too, it's the vision, right? So hearing Nate talk on the town hall, there's 12 different species or races, so far. And there's all these different variants and all the different skins that he wants to. It's like he has this vision for where I want to go. He has this energy and drive, not just like being dragged begrudgingly to. Oh, I guess we better make some more content, to throw it to the player base because they want some more content. It's like I really want to do this. Let's go in this direction. I've got these ideas. I've got these plans. And same with Yabba. New rule sets and new abilities and gameplay. New directions, new tokenomics. There's that appetite there, right? It's that appetite to, and like you say, not just be available, but to look for opportunities to be available. So I'm at the town hall. Okay, guys, get your questions in. Just write question, and then we're going to get to it, and we're going to answer it, and we're going to hear what you say. So, enthusiasm for the project it's beautiful. I love it.
And BJ, while you're here, did you want to get in a game or two?
That's the only reason I accepted the invitation, gentlemen. No, I mean I'm happy to continue talking shop with you guys. I'll leave it up to you guys.
Well, what do you feel like? You're
we
the
can
guest.
play. We can. Is there something else that is kind of burning a hole in y'all's pockets in terms of something to be discussed? Do you guys want to? What's our time frame remaining? 20 minutes.
We still have 15 minutes left to go.
It is funny.
You guys talk about that amongst, and while you're doing that, I'm just going to harvest my land. Something exciting that we can get people into.
That's the spirit. It is funny though, BJ, because we've got the regular show. So if we've got something we want to say, we just say it when we're talking to a guest or when we just got our regular show on. So there aren't things that are necessarily burning a hole in our pocket for months. It's funny when we do get a guest on who's hasn't been out in public for a while and they've just been sitting at home and just doing their own thing. They'll say, "Oh, what's the plan? How do we talk?" And we're like, "Look, just go. You just talk. You just what's on your mind, whatever you're feeling." And once they get started, then it's just like and the whole thing is just us listening to them and bouncing ideas around. But without that cathartic, like every week, every fortnight, we've got this chance to just here's what's on my mind and just open forum. It's like this pent up, shaken champagne bottle. You get somebody on and they're like, okay, pop. here's everything that I've thought. Over
Levy's
the last 6
broken.
months,
Yeah.
since I last had an opportunity to voice any of this publicly. That's great. It's cool to hear the new perspectives. And you mentioned this, the pub brawl idea when we were talking on your show. You mentioned it a couple of times, and I was like, yeah, I forgot about that. That I would really like to see that happen.
Oh, that one's completely stuck with me, man.
Yeah.
And that this goes back to what we were talking, a few moments ago. Introducing the social element, I think, goes such a long way. Be the Discord disconnect is I think a more harmful than I think we've been willing to acknowledge. It's just an easy crutch.
Yep.
And it's given us the built-in excuse of not building in-game communication out the way that we should have. And I'm super excited for communication to get ramped up in-game in a big way.
Totally agree. Well, I've only had 2 bounties claimed. I don't know how many people are out to actually claim them, how many people are paying attention to this or even know that it exists. I mean, if it's not a pop-up in the game, then does it even exist? Like you say, Discord it's not everybody's tracking, not everybody's on there. And I would love to see, even as a development of the pub brawl concept, like a spontaneous pop-up tournament, or all in, if that could be privately, funded, where somebody says, hey, here's this pop-up tournament, right? And it comes up on everybody's screens. Okay, here's the rule set, here's the mana cap. Whoever's looking at this right now and can click on this right now, get your teams in, right? And it's everybody versus everybody else, and just this particular person's lineup beat this many percentage of other people. You'd probably want to do it in more of a wild format, because otherwise you get in the same 4 teams, each played by 500 different people, playing the same 4 teams, and then it's just RNG. But I think the potential there to just be, I'm just playing, I'm just going to do I've got a plan for today, and I'm doing this for an hour, and then I'll log off, and hang on, what just popped up? Hang on, it's a pub brawl. 3,000 people have already entered teams. Well, here's what I'm going to do, right? Bam. Whoa. Okay. I was the 5th best overall, and my team was the best water team. Wow, that's cool, right? Like that to me is like not being turn-based, but the way the game is. There's no reason for just 2 opponents to be in the same match. That's not a limitation we face. Obviously, technically, there could be a lot of coding required to get that done. But it's something I'd like to move towards, for sure. And thanks for reminding me of it. It's like an idea I had 3 years ago, and you're the one championing it. I'm like, I've had so many ideas, and then every time you raise it, I'm like, yeah, that was a good idea. We should do that.
That's brilliant, man. Well, I mean, we've heard Yabba talking about, one of the big projects that he's working on is the guild overhaul. I would love to see this sort of thing, if you imagine a little bit of a tighter marriage between brawl or guilds and lands, Matt's castle in whatever region, pick your region, is hosting a pub brawl this season. Everybody has to navigate inland to Matt's castle. You I don't know, stake out your monsters, stake out your team or whatever, and on the I feel like there's so much cool opportunity to lean into the tech that we've already developed to kind of build this stuff out. And I would love to see, for your bounties, I think that is the primary issue that you've only seen a couple of claimed, is that it's just lack of awareness. So, I mean, I would happily pay 500 DEC to have my bounty announced on, like the waiting screen banner between battles, and just, maybe that's an easy way to advertise or to burn DEC or whatever. There's so much fruit for the picking, man. I feel like
it could be a revenge thing, right? So if somebody, you and I battle in Modern, and then you beat me with a specific card, and I'm like, oh yeah, he's good with that card, I want somebody to beat him with that card. I just take out a bounty on you, right? It's just there. Here's your results. Would you like to take out a bounty on this guy and get to watch somebody else beat him with that card, that rule set, whatever stipulation?
Yeah, notification comes up on your screen. Yo, B Jangles is and facing off with.
Exactly. The DSE's burnt, right? The deck is gone. So that's great for the tokenomics. again, it's all code, and every town hall Matt says, "Oh, yeah, there's a lot of great ideas, but we've only got so many coders." So totally understand. But that would be really, really cool if we could take out bounties on somebody. Imagine you beat somebody so bad that they take out a bounty on you. Like, that's cool.
It's like
And that's
ultimate prize.
community. That's a community, right? That ongoing relationship. And then, you took out a bounty on me. All right, well, I'm going to reciprocate.
That reminds me of the Shield of Glory, like pity token or whatever it was that they were doing back in the day.
Sinister.
Same idea.
The
Sinister, yeah.
It's a great. You know what happened with that is like he basically sent a token to some super whale who got completely offended and started attacking his blogs with downvotes and things like that. So that's what happened to that token. Yeah,
that's a shame. It's
idea.
All in good fun. Get good. That's the response.
Yep.
Yeah. Suck on that loss, dude. Super whale. I'm still gonna beat your ass in ranked.
Taunting your opponents that's why we're here, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah. So how's the land front coming for you, Bob? You've on our break you shared your screenshot of your summoner collection at this point, and
that was just the legendary.
You've done some
summoners.
work. Just the legendaries. Yeah, you've done some work, man. I heard you call out in one of y'all's recent episodes that you bought a second gold foil Quicks, a second gold foil Immortalis.
Yeah.
Yeah. Business is good in Mexico, dude.
They're 10,000 PP, all right?
Yeah.
A card.
Yeah.
And because of the different plots that I have, like one particular, so for example, who was it? Yeah, say Immortalis and also Uriel. I only have one gold foil maxed Uriel, but he's like a 10% bonus on one plot, but he's a minus 50% penalty on it. And so I've had to sort of pick the plots, which is why I've needed a couple of the same one. Think why not just buy a different gold foil legendary? But yeah, I'm restricted to the Splinter as well, so it's just much easier to buy a couple. And anything that I have in gold foil that's working on the land, I also still have a fully maxed regular version to play with as well. So
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that for you, Bob. You're like, I only have the one max gold foil Uriel. It's just the one. Maxed out in gold foil.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but this is the result. I've been getting into the stone market, so I've now got 0.17 of the stone supply.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yep, it's climbing. So what's your spot on the rankings? Have you checked now? Because we had last week, it only updated a week ago. I think we might be just at the tail end. Like we record just before the page updates. But you were like 70th or something?
It was 68. 68.
68. Yep.
Yeah, and it hasn't been updated since I can't remember the date. I did check just before, so still 68 on that. But it was 68 was giving me 0.16. So now that I'm 0.17, start getting a little bit closer towards the 50s.
Yep, nice.
So are you teeing up for a little shopping spree, Bob? I happened to catch a glimpse of your DEC balance there. It looks like you're gearing up for something.
Yeah, like I said, when I'm just like doing when the funds get sort of really low, I'm looking at a card on a Qualis that I want to buy, and there's not enough. I just change another 1,000 hive into DC, and so that's still the balance that's left over, but I imagine a big chunk of that is going to go into the Riftwatcher summoners. I've got no idea at this point how much they're worth, so I'll have to look into that once that time is up here.
Cool.
Are you getting into land much at all? Is that a big focus for you, or what's your main focus?
It wasn't for a long time. I always had, I think I had six plots for a really long time. And I had staked them out when lands first went live, and then there was a sale. It might have been the Hall of Legends sale that I said, okay, well, land isn't really doing a whole lot at the moment. So I pulled all my DEC. I think it must have been 350,000 DEC, something like that. And then my land just kind of sat idly by for a really long time. I didn't touch it. And AzureCon, he came on the show once upon a time, maybe, I don't know, maybe 6 months ago, said, oh, what's going on with your land? Here's 350,000 DEC. Get it going. You send me an IOU. Oh, shit. All right. So I did get everything fired up, and it's been run for about 6 months. And then I struck a deal with Keegs probably about a month ago for an additional 6 or 7 plots in kind of my main home base region, which is 102 Kipton. So now I own 13.
So do you
13
want
plots.
something in Kifton?
If I continue buying lands, it will more than likely be in Kifton.
I have a plot in Kifton. I actually want another plot in Queenstone. Let me show you my Kifton plot. So here's Kifton.
Oh, it's a magical forest.
Yeah.
Nice.
And these are the guys.
Yeah, let's talk. What I mean, we don't need to do any negotiating on air, but yeah, I'm definitely interested.
Yeah.
What are you doing with it, Bob? Are you going after aura or
I
research?
I want more stone.
You want more stone?
Yeah. And my stone plots are all in Queenstone.
Queenstone is the name?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 132. I got 28 plots in Queenstone, Bob.
Oh, have you?
Mm.
Okay. Well, I mean, see these dudes that I've got on here. So we've got a maxed gold foil Immortalis, maxed beta Palladian, Tyrus Palladian, maxed gold foil Demon Shark, maxed Spirit of the Forest, maxed Assassin, Silver Shield Assassin. None of these guys are going to be any good for me on a stone plot. So that's going to be like another dilemma. I'm going to have all of these high PP guys that I can't sort of use. So that was if I go.
It sounds like you need to get 2 plots then.
So
one for stone and one for a new home for those badass cards.
So here are my stone plots. My guys here, Golf for Quicks, maxed Lord Arianthus, maxed Goblin Mech. So I've got two Gold for Quickses on here. Lord of Darkness, so I can't max. There's an alpha, cannot max him. There's no cards on the market to do that. So stone is difficult when it comes to my collection and the splinters. So, yeah.
Well,
nice flex there,
could
Bob.
you get some? Yeah, no, save some gills for the rest of us, mate. Could you get some grain? Because you need to. You've been buying grain to feed your workers, haven't you? So could you reallocate some of those cards onto it?
I have one grain plot.
Yeah.
Which is in Lumley.
Yeah. We might have to do some swapping, I think, Bob, because I've got 28. So if I've got a grain one in Queenstone, I'd be open to doing some swaps.
Well, I'm looking at the market, Bob. There's a handful of canyons and deserts for sale, and I would be interested in
Queenstone.
So maybe we could do a little three party swap around here, because I would be keen to get another magical plot in Kipton.
This is my grain plot here. So this is the only plot I have that's making grain. We've got the maxed alpha Tyrus. Was it Silver Shield?
You just want to flaunt your cards, Bob.
Air Elementals, and then the max gold foil Uriel.
That gold foil air elemental is awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Man, you got some heavy hitters, dude. Cool.
Yeah, but they're very splinter specific to plots. So
Sure.
yeah, but I want to focus on stone as my main resource. So, and then for transportation fees, etc., etc., I just want it all together in Queenstone. So yeah, anyone want to reach out to me on that? Matt, BJ, a viewer, do so. This was 193. BJ.